All right, well, hi and welcome to the Design 2 weekly video retrospective for week 5. I'm going to jump right into it here. First thing I want to talk about is we talked in lab about your presentations coming up in week 6. So in week 6, you have to give us a presentation that basically convinces us that the design you chose is the best moving forward and was the best choice amongst the 3 designs that you had to pick from your final 3. In that presentation, you've got 8 minutes to make that pitch. And one of the big things I just want to put forward here is that make sure you all contribute because that'll come out in the question period if you don't. So after your 8-minute presentation, then there's a 12-minute Q&A period. So that's time where Warren and I'll probably ask about 4 questions each, or your respective TA in your section. And in that time, if we notice, for example, that someone in your group, said, hi, this is the name of our team, and we're here to talk about our final design, and didn't speak for the rest of the presentation, that person might be of a concern to us. Maybe they're not contributing as much to the group, so the question and answer period will be a time where we can maybe single that person out if they don't seem to be contributing. So be conscious of that. Try and distribute the questions evenly amongst yourselves, as well as distribute the presentation and the technical parts of the presentation evenly amongst yourselves as well, so one team member isn't left out. Some more do's and don'ts about the presentation is, like I said, distribute the questions. Don't let someone hog all the questions because your other teammates won't look as good as a result. And don't cut people off. So if someone starts answering a question and you realize that they're maybe not answering the question directly, or they're missing the point, or maybe they're saying something that's not true, or you think it's not true, that's fine. Don't cut them off while they're doing it. Give them the time to say what they want to say, and then you can chime in later and say, actually, I'd like to add this to the end, or, I think this number was a little off. We might have recalculated that, or I think you might have been asking this, and this is the question. So don't cut your team members off. Don't do that kind of thing, because that just looks bad in a presentation and it creates a weird team dynamic while you're all standing there in front of us. The other thing is, if you don't know the answer to a question, you don't have to guess. Not that you don't have to guess, but don't fake it. Don't BS us. So if we are asking you, what's the efficiency of your system, and you haven't calculated it, let's say. You probably should have calculated some sort of efficiency, but let's say you haven't. So you can go, well, I don't know, make it number 80%. Well, 80% is super high. So we'd like to dig into that number, 80%. How did you get that? And we can ask all kinds of questions. Would have been a lot easier way to go about it is to just say, we hadn't worked that process yet. The other numbers helped us determine that this system was the best one to pick. But if I had to guess, this would be the number that I would guess. Then you're open about the fact that you don't know, but you're still giving us the answer that we're looking for, or at least trying. So don't BS us. It can turn into a messy situation in terms of questions, and it doesn't really look good for anybody. Besides that, you also have your submission 3s due. That has results, discussion, no appendix because of the design binder, and it comes with an executive summary. That executive summary should just be 1 page, and I just like to reinforce it because sometimes people seem to have trouble with executive summaries, but an executive summary is just a summary of what's in the report. So if you haven't written it in the report, you can't write it in the executive summary. It's a summary. So a good example of how those kind of things are used is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change writes these huge reports, dozens of pages, even over hundreds of pages, about different things that affect climate change. But they also make a document called the Summary for Policymakers that's only a few pages that describes the important details of those large documents. So that's kind of what an executive summary is here. Basically what you're doing is that you're taking those documents, the main information that you're trying to present in your report, and you're summarizing it. So try and do that, and don't include details that aren't in the report because it's a summary. When it comes to CAE, we taught you how to get mass, we taught you how to get volume and assign a material. If you don't remember how to do that, ask your colleagues or ask us. We can show you, but that'll be important for when you're doing your presentation. And the last thing I just wanted to reinforce is just get on it, get there quickly. You've got an hour and a half every week with us where you can help us, you can get help from us with tools, you can get help with your colleagues, they're all sitting there. Don't leave it to the last minute. Don't leave it to the night before because you'll be up all night. You won't have as much help. It'll just be more of a nightmare. You've got the time now. You're already in the computer lab. Take advantage of it. The last thing in terms of design is next week week 7, so we've got week 6 coming up, so the week after that, week 7, you'll be in the shop. Try and come prepared. So you've only got 5 weeks or 4 weeks to build your design. If you come the first week with no plan, you'll spend the first week planning, the second week maybe starting to plan, starting to build, and you'll only really get into the flow of building by the 3rd and 4th week, and that's not much time. You only have an hour and a half each week. So come with a plan, and don't plan on building your easiest piece first, because it's a benefit to try and build the hardest one first, and if you run into problems, then you'll be able to fix those problems, or at least take the best course of action. But if you build, the stand for your penny moving system, which is just a few pieces of wood nailed together in the first couple weeks, and then save your really complicated wind turbine blades, let's say, to the last week, and you realize that you won't be able to build them, that puts you in a kind of a hard place. So try and do the easy stuff last, and really concentrate on the hard stuff first, so that you have a sense of how your build process is going to go, and come prepared in week 7. So that's all I have for you. Have a great week in design. I'm excited to see my group's presentations, and I'm sure the other TAs are as well.